I believe that the middle class deserves a tax cut, and I believe that we will do a lot for this country by ensuring that we don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
You are wealthy. You are worth $20 million to $30 million.
Yeah.
How do you know about regular people suffering? Do you go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food? I talk to those people. When government creates a problem, then they blame on other things.
Yeah.
Then they offer bigger government solutions to give you more printed money. Then inflation goes up some more. It's a vicious circle.
American hero Lily Tang obliterated Jake Sullivan's wife on the debate stage in New Hampshire, and it was very enjoyable. We have several clips here, but first let me introduce you to this woman, Lily Tang Williams, Republican nominee for Congress, and she's a survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution, and she's sick of seeing it happening here in America, birthed again by people like Jake Sullivan's wife. She's in New Hampshire. She's a wife and mother, entrepreneur, and professional speaker, and likes to live free or die, baby, as do we all. And she was debating this woman. Her name is Maggie Goodlander and does have a Homelander vibe, but has very interesting husband named Jake Sullivan. You know who Jake Sullivan is. He's our national security advisor, this guy. He was the same guy who was Hillary's senior advisor, who created the Russian collusion hoax and has been constantly begging for war against Russia as part of the neocon movement, which is within the Democratic Party now. And so a global warmonger, his wife apparently moved back into New Hampshire just out of the blue and is running for Congress now, where she's going to give more money to Ukraine to stop the Russians. And so she was out on the debate stage talking with somebody who's actually experienced what it's like to live in a communist hellhole. And her name is Lily Tang. And she came out, and this woman, you can follow her on X at Lily for Liberty and support her campaign, lilytangwilliams.com. She was on the debate stage. It was a lot of fun. Here is where she laces into Goodlander, aka Mrs. Sullivan, on costs and prices in America.
Herself in this predicament is because Donald Trump decided to advance a tax policy that was really dedicated to a basic idea, to giving a big break to the wealthiest in this country and to the biggest corporations. This is a worldview that my opponent has embraced. She believes that we should give a break to the wealthiest and the biggest corporations and hope for the best, hope that the results will trickle down to hardworking people. I take a very different approach. I believe that the middle class deserves a tax cut, and I believe that we will do a lot for this country by ensuring that we don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
Ms. Tang Williams.
You are wealthy. You are worth $20 million to $30 million. How do you know about regular people suffering? Do you go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food? I talk to those people. And you pretend to be renter in Nashua a few months ago, moved back to run for this open seat with millions of dollars from Washington, D.C. insiders. And the millions of dollars, I don't have money to run a TV ad. And you pretend you are poor, complain rent is so high. You couldn't save that apartment for other people to rent in Nashua. Just go back to your $2 million home in Portsmouth. Please don't say that, because you do not understand regular people's concern. People cry in my arms on District 2.
Maggie.
Amazing.
You know, this is such an important issue. You're focused on me. I am focused on the voters and on the issues that matter to them. And high cost is something that, like I said, I'm going to fight with everything I've got to reduce the pain that people are feeling all across this district. But I would just say,
why? By sending more money to Ukraine?
One of the things I learned from my family growing up here in New Hampshire,
middle class?
And this is the state that made me who I am today, is that you pay it forward, you give back. And I've dedicated my life to serving our state and our country. I've done it in the Navy, I've done it at the Justice Department, I've done it at the White House. And it would be the honor of my lifetime to do the same thing, to serve another oath of office to our Constitution, which I love so much, on behalf of this district.
Let's keep talking about the cost of living, an expense that a lot of families are struggling with these days. That's the high cost of childcare. A report from the organization Childcare Aware shows that Granite Staters who have an infant at a child care center, along with a toddler there at the same time, are paying about $32,000 a year. Now, there have been tax credit proposals and hiring incentives, but can you pledge tonight to do something dramatic to really make childcare accessible to mass numbers of families, Ms. Goodlander?
Look, this is such an important issue, Adam. I hear about it everywhere I go.
You just gave her an answer. Why didn't you go over to Lily Tang? She just finished talking, okay? Why are you giving her another question? Okay, what's up, Lily? Let's go.
Bipartisan cooperation.
Ms. Tang Williams, should Congress do something dramatic to lower the cost of childcare?
I don't know what that dramatic means. When government prints money, drive up a cost of energies, food and labor costs goes up.
Yeah.
Then unnecessary regulations make lots of people who want to maybe take care of children also have to go through red tapes. When government creates a problem, then they blame on other things.
Yeah.
Then they offer bigger government solutions to give you more printed money, then inflation goes up some more. It's a vicious circle. We need to bring down inflation. That will drive the labor costs going down. And then we look at our spending priorities and what is, reason we, come together. We need to put our people first. But don't forget, we sent $175 billion to Ukraine.
Yes!
$175 billion. Every Democrat in U.S. House voted for it and waved Ukrainian flag, where our people, our veterans, our mom, dad cannot afford simple daily costs like that. And the mainstream media don't report that. And I need to tell you the truth. Who is going to put the people's interests first?
Ms. Tang Williams, that's time. Next question from Steve Botari.
Incredible. Okay, so amazing. Absolutely amazing. She's right. What do you want? More government? You want $1 billion for childcare that's going to be printed so that everything else is going to go up too? How about we stop wrecking our currency and stop destroying our economy and stop sending our love and resources over to foreign countries? Amazing. Lily Tang, 2024, baby. New Hampshire House of Representatives. Now, here's another exchange where she calls out Jake Sullivan, our national security advisor, the same guy who tried to rig 2016 with a fake Russian collusion hoax. Hillary Clinton and Jake Sullivan, her husband, tried to rig 2016 with a fake Russian collusion X post. It's still out there. And here Jake Sullivan gets brought into the conversation.
Of New Hampshire understand that this is a fight for freedom and it's a fight for democracy. This is an unjust war that Vladimir Putin waged against a sovereign nation. My opponent believes that the path to peace is through Vladimir Putin.
What?
I know from my own professional experience that that is just so dead wrong. If I could finish, please. Early in my career, I worked for Senator John McCain to take on Vladimir Putin. I'm banned from Russia for life because of that work, and I believe deeply in the cause of freedom in Ukraine.
Ms. Tang Williams, 30 seconds.
Your math cannot add up, okay?
Your math.
And I'm very good with math. Maybe that's stereotype for aging Americans. If you want to pay all the stuff you want to pay, then do your math. How are we going to pay for it? Show me the path. Borrow money from China or print money to drive up inflation. And you say Ukrainian flag everywhere in Nashua. I have not seen that many. As I said, if Democrats want to do this, billionaires want to do this, neocons want to do this, please do. Donate your own money. So many people have died. It's time to bring peace and talk to the table. President Trump is talking about he will be for peace deals as soon as he gets elected. We cannot afford to engage in endless wars. And your husband, Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor, is causing world on fire because he's incompetent. He should get fired.
Yes!
Ms. Goodlander, 30 seconds.
Again,
Lily Tang!
my opponent is focused on me, and I would appreciate if we could stick to the issues and not personal attacks.
Hey, your husband is a political figure. What are you talking about? He's Jake Sullivan. The world is on fire. War with Russia. There's a Middle East battle between Gaza and Israel that's now popping off into Iran. We've got total madness in the region, the South China Sea. I mean, things are problematic now because of your husband. And don't get all upset because she called out his terrible leadership. He should be fired. He should resign. He was behind a fake hoax in 2016, blamed Russia back then because it's been a multi-generational effort to just go after Russia for some stupid reason. And you're going to sit here and lecture Americans in New Hampshire about Lily Tang's love for Putin, dictatorship, when she's come out of it and she's speaking more truth than anybody's heard from a politician in a long time.
I'm focused on the issues, and this is a real point of disagreement.
Your math does not add up. The issue is your math does not add up.
Yeah, do some
Ms.
math.
Williams, let her finish.
This is a real point of disagreement between the two of us. You know, I was really proud to serve for 11 years as an intelligence officer in the Navy Reserve, and one of the things I saw was just how important it is for us to be strong.
Amazing. So she's intelligence, DOJ, and married to Jake Sullivan. Man, hopefully New Hampshire knows better.
In the face.
Botari, we're going to continue on foreign policy.
By some in your party to end American support because of the tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians who have been killed. You have said, when it comes to questions about whether a nation state has committed a war crime, those judgments are made by prosecutors and by investigators, not by congressional candidates. But as someone who would vote on further aid to Israel, what is your assessment about Israel's actions in Gaza, and should Americans' aid continue no matter what?
Look, I believe that Israel has a right to defend itself. It has a right to exist, and we shouldn't have to say that. But, you know, October 7th was the deadliest attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Israel has a right to defend itself, and in Congress, I will fight to make sure that Israel has the resources it needs to defend itself against its enemies, because I believe that Israel's enemies, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and Iranian-backed groups, are America's enemies. This is an investment in our own national security. But look, Israel is also a democracy that has a responsibility to protect the lives of innocent civilians. So as I've said, I believe deeply that the path forward here is, number one, to bring about the state that we had before October 7th, which was a ceasefire, a return of the hostages that have been kept in brutal captivity in Gaza for over a year now, and a surge in humanitarian assistance into Gaza, because no one should go without food or water or medical care. And this is a responsibility that the United States and Israel have to the people of Gaza.
Okay, as an objective politician, she's pretty good, right? She has answers that are totally meaningless, but have the talking points. I mean, she came out, reconfirmed total commitment to Israel. They have all the money in the world that they want from us, and simultaneously showing some humanitarian. It was a nice kind of a very strong pro-Israel statement, but balanced. She kind of walked it back a little bit on humanitarianism, and so like practiced and ready to go on this. It's very curious, and she's just an intelligence operative. She's just an intelligence agent running for Congress next to Jake Sullivan. She looks like it, right? Almost comes off like a Homelander vibe, literally, if you've seen that show. Almost a little bit too perfect, right? Bizarre.
Ms. Tang Williams, you've expressed your strong support for Israel, but also say the U.S. needs to ask, like you've discussed in the previous question, how we're going to pay for that support.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop sending military or financial aid to Israel? And if so, what would persuade you?
Morally, diplomatically, and as an ally, we support Israel. I do. And it's only democracy in the Middle East, and it's Americans' best interest, and to keep Israel free and democratic. President Trump actually broke several peace deals in Middle East. He was nominated for actually Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, mainstream media will not report that.
Yeah, that's true.
And right before, Saudi Arabia and Israel reached peace deals, and Hamas attacked Israel. Think about who is behind that attack. How did Hamas get all this money? Iran. And guess who gave billions of dollars to Iran, enabled them to buy hundreds of billions of dollars, actually sell hundreds of millions of dollars oil to China, thanks to our national security advisor who runs our foreign policy. So we need to come up. We support Israel, but when it comes to money-wise,
Jake Sullivan.
and we need to have smarter, effective foreign policies.
All right.
Next question from Ariel
interesting,
Matron.
right? So she gives the standard kind of Republican answer on Israel and Iran and all that. But I'll say she did a nice job threading the needle there, saying, well, who funded all of that? Her husband, right? This guy. He's responsible for it all. So that was really actually pretty masterful. She connects like, oh yeah, 10/7 was terrible. You know who's responsible for 10/7 in Israel? Jake Sullivan. That's where it came from. So, all right. Shout out to Lily Tang, man. She's doing a great job out there. Hopefully she beats Goodlander. I highly doubt it. You can see. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there's a little internet phenomenon happening. So get out there. If you're in New Hampshire, get out there and vote for Lily Tang, baby, because she's bringing it out against the deep state. And it's just, she's an intelligence candidate operative. Like, that's it. And she's married to another intelligence operative called Jake Sullivan. 2 peas in a pod all over Washington. Incredible. So shout out to Lily Tang, my friends in New Hampshire. Get out, vote for Lily Tang, baby. And we'll make New Hampshire great again, too.